Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of AFTERBUZZ's recap of Underground Season 2, Episode 3. This was an emotional one, so hang out, guys.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh, we in our feelings, aren't we? We are in our feelings. Hey,
Shackles
everybody.
and chains, man.
Yes. Welcome back to Underground Season 2, Episode 3, Ache. And we was feeling a lot of aches.
My heart is aching so bad. I can't even deal.
Oh my God, I was crying. I'm your host, Lina Green, and you can find me at Just Lina Green on all social media outlets.
What's going on, y'all? Franceli Chapman here, and you can hang out with me at all things at Celly Hangout.
Oh my God, let's get into this. Girl, I was crying. Was I not crying the whole time?
You were crying. And the music didn't even make it any better.
It was so good.
It's so good. And
On point.
I'll give y'all the music list later.
Oh my God,
Oh my
on
God.
point. Okay, so it opens up with Daniel's character reading.
Yes.
And it's so important. It's so important.
You know what? It's crazy because lately it seems as it's the trend. I don't know if they'll do it for the rest of the season, but the past 3 episodes, that's how they've been opening every episode. It's with him reading. And they opened up with Sojourner Truth, which is so, her words are just,
I think it's
timeless.
I think it's powerful that they show him reading in the progress of his reading.
Right.
Like at this point now, he
got it. He's got it down pat.
He cocky right now. He reading like, okay, I got this sentence. I'm reading this whole thing. That I think it's really cool them showing the progression of his reading, because at first it was just one word and he was sounding it out.
And I love how like he's reading to his daughter, and then she's asking questions, and that father-daughter relationship, and just basically like even the state of women at the time. Although yes, slavery was a big thing, but even more so women's rights. Like, a woman shouldn't have more rights than a man. 'Cause Jesus wasn't a woman.
That was a crazy thing to say.
It's like what?
What the stuff that is in people's brains? Like women shouldn't read because we're not a myth. Oh God.
It was. Listen here.
Doing too much, but it also I like is showing that the progression of slaves who want to learn, and them teaching themselves. Like that was something that's very powerful, and it like said in its truth.
Super powerful. And I just want to give a special shout out to Inspiration. She's always with us on the chat, and she's an African-American women's studies scholar, and she knows just so much. She said what they were reading from was Sojourner Truth's speech, Ain't I a Woman, that was delivered in May 1851 in Ohio. So shout out to her. She's always giving us the knowledge.
Keeping up. Okay, so let's roll into it. So this episode, a lot of symbolism between Ernestine and Rosalee. And it went back and forth with what's going on with Ernestine, what's going on with Rosalee. That was the bulk of this episode. So I guess we could start with Ernestine.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much going on.
So much breath. So much. I want both of them to win Emmys. Like after this episode,
they get some
Emmys, Golden Globes, I mean everything.
Like,
Screen Actors Guild, everything. These women are just breathtaking. They're amazing on screen. They show strength, empathy, motherhood. It's just like how it just shows what motherhood means, how it's connected, life and death, birth. Because it's, I'm going in circles in my mind. Like I'm just like, what? These writers, these creators, the director, Anthony Hemingway, my God. Like,
there's so much. The cinematography is very beautiful.
He was just brilliant in this episode. This is the episode that needs to be submitted for award season. I said it.
Is that how it works? That's how it works?
They submit certain episodes, right, for award season, and this
episode should be submitted. If you're not crying by the end of it, you're watching. You're not human or something. I don't know. But we first get introduced to Ernestine in this episode. She is. She's carrying. No, she's not carrying anything. She's just walking, and she ends up getting into a tussle with one of the slave, not masters, but the slave hands, and he slaps her.
Right.
And we talk about strength of a woman. We've seen such a progression of Ernestine, but she's always been strong. And this is her at her weakest moment. And I guess, I don't know if it's her feeling herself, but she's done.
She's just not having it.
This is when you see a woman who's finally fed up.
I mean, for her to get knocked the way she got knocked and Hicks try to come to her rescue and her say, I don't need you saving me. I was like,
they be hitting women like.
And then he looked at her like, oh, I'm finna beat you right here. But then everybody was looking.
Was he that? I was like, he better not be thinking that in his head.
I know he was thinking it. I was like, ooh, this man wants to slap her right here. But that's the thing about even in that moment, he had pride and ego where he was like, well, I can't anyone else see me beating my own black woman. I'm just going to beat her in the privacy of our home. But in public, I'm not going to beat her because I don't want people to think a certain kind of way.
That's crazy with everything going on that they're having to go through. And that kind of stuff, the black on black violence, to me, this stuff needs to be in here, but it's so heartening. It's like, it really does. You're feeling, because like we already going through a lot. And then you added on the black on black violence, man hitting, and they hit the women like they men in this.
Oh my God.
Like they hitting them. I'm like, the way Rosalee got hit, the way Ernestine getting hit, they're taking it.
Listen, this show has layers on layers on layers.
So then we get introduced to Patty because it's going back and forth, and Patty's still tracking down
the Black Rose,
Rosalee. And Patty's character, to me, again, I kind of want her to really stand strong in this character a little bit more, because did you notice how she falters a little bit? Like, well, just a lot of jealousy and wanting to be bigger than she is.
Yeah,
like her name out there, but she wants to be bigger than she really is.
I think she does it more so for the money and for the fame.
She did say the money. She definitely does it for the money.
I don't even think that she necessarily cares that much about the issues of slavery or black people. I think it comes down to her rival is Moses, aka Harriet Tubman, because Harriet Tubman is more famous than her. And that's what her problem is. It comes down to, I will catch her and this will make me legendary. And that's what this really is about. This show just shows so much about the human ego and how
a lot of egos.
So much ego. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pride before the fall, people. Let's get it together.
And what's crazy, one of the lines that someone said, because while she was going after Rosalee's character, he was like, nah, she ain't dead. She ain't dead. You shot her, but you didn't get her good. And she was like, I never miss. Maybe it was her intention to just shoot her in the arm and wound her because she does need her alive to find Harriet Tubman. But they said a Negro woman has a supernatural ability to bear pain. And when you watch this show, the pain.
I was like, first of all, black women, black girl magic. Black women are supernatural for sure. But it's one of those things where it's like, wow, just the mental place that people were at that time, of how they thought about black women, you know? And when
about black people as a whole, just like there's these myths and stuff like you can't catch her like this, or you can't.
In college, I took a course called Black Feminist Thought. And when we got into the slavery time, they showed that masters had no sympathy for women who were pregnant. That if you were pregnant and you didn't work and you didn't make your bundles and they needed to beat you, they would just build a hole in the dirt. So then you would lay on your stomach so the pregnancy would be protected.
Because that's still their property.
That's still property. And so they would lay you on your stomach and then beat you and still whip you. So you'd still get your lashes, pregnant or not.
Girl, stop.
And I was just like, the strength of black women. Literally, they were working through their pregnancy and then still getting beat through their pregnancies. And then Journey Smollett is over here in real life doing the show pregnant. Oh my God.
That had 6-7 months pregnant.
She was 7 months pregnant while she was shooting the show.
Doing her own stunts and everything.
She's just a beast. She's a beast.
Yes, and we see her after she gets shot, she pulls herself out of the water, leeches all over her body. You're like, what is that? I was like,
and you're so freaked out.
I hate when I see the sight of leeches, it literally makes me go, ugh. But she pulls herself out and then gets the bullet out of her arm.
With a knife. And then can't get the fire, so gets the gun and shoots it. I'm like, can this woman?
I just wanted it to stop. I wanted her pain to end. I was like, just lay down. Just lay down and sleep. The whole time I'm like, just lay down and
But if she lays down and sleeps, she'll get caught.
Yeah.
She has to keep going. It's so insane just how the will to live, the will to be free. You just don't know, like, how far your body and your mind can take you.
It's amazing.
Oh my God.
And that's why I tell people what our ancestors went through ain't nothing. I mean, like what they went through, the stuff we complain about now, we gotta be strong. Like that kind of stuff, that's a mind, not only your body physically, but a mind.
Yeah.
You know. But then we see Rosalee, she blacks out because it's a lot of pain. She's going through a lot. And when she comes to, she's being chased by Jack.
Oh my gosh.
Jack, who gets in the water butt naked just
to
because
catch
Patty tells him to do it.
Oh my God.
Weak. I mean, this is the submissive characters that Patty has under her. Now we see what kind of character that Patty is. She's this woman who needs to feel like she's in charge. She has these handlers under her, these other hunters under her who are more submissive and docile. She even talks about Jack, saying that she never respected him. She really, she cared when he got killed by Rosalee, but not really.
I feel like she didn't care.
It was like, I mean,
I think she said she cared for the sake of someone's following her and writing a book about her.
Being humane.
But I don't really think that it really mattered that much. And the crazy thing about it is when Rosalee, when Rosalee blacks out, she immediately, I think it's interesting that when you become pregnant, not that I've ever been pregnant before, but
she's a doctor,
when you become
guys.
pregnant, how you think about your own mother and how she raised you. And that's where she went. She went to memories of her as a child with her mom. And
it seemed like such happier times.
Right, although...
Yeah, it kind of like as happy as it can get.
Right.
Like they're jumping on the bed. And it's like and I love how even from the first season, how Ernestine talks about, I can't lie to you. You're going to endure pain. You're going to suffer, but we can have some good times in this. Like that, I felt with that in that moment when she said that to Rosalee as a child. It was like she's still trying to show her child like you gonna go through a lot and you gonna have to be strong, but I'm gonna try to make it as good as possible. I love those little flashbacks because it gives us more of the backstory, on everything that because this is mainly Ernestine. Like everything she's been through, we can tell. This is why she is the person she is. Right. Like, this is why. So, yeah, the backstory of her, taking care of Rosalee and then her breastfeeding.
Yeah. Or being pregnant with Sam.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. We wondered who was the next ghost she was gonna see.
And we
predicted Sam. And Sam
was
is
acting
here.
crazy.
Sam was
he was off the cusp this time.
Sam was in it. I was like, oh.
So yeah, when it flashes back, when it goes back to Ernestine, she's getting ready to go sing for her new master, the master's son, Matthew. And so she's cleaning herself. They had that nice bath, where she's bathing herself scene. I'm like, she's such a beautiful woman.
Yes.
And she's getting ready. She's cleaning herself, and her boyfriend Hicks comes, and he's like, "Ooh, baby, you're looking so good. You're looking so good to me and stuff." He's like, "Let's get ready to sing and stuff." I feel like Ernestine, did they take her out the fields completely just to go to, is she out of the fields completely now?
No, I don't think so. I think she still works in the fields. She just doesn't have to work as much.
Oh, really? So
because that's
didn't Hicks say towards he was like, do you want to go back into the fields? So is she permanently out or just going back and forth? I think maybe she's going back and forth.
I think so.
Yeah. So that scene when she goes to the house to sing for Matthew and his friends, that scene was lit. Like Ernestine had no cover and Sam's over there cheering her on. It feels like the people, the premonitions that she's seen, or the people who come in, like Sam this time, are egging her. They're like part of her brain. I think she's having a mental breakdown at this moment.
Well, I mean, Sam's words cut so deep, and it's just such a testament, because obviously these folks aren't there, so they're her mirror. They're her conscious, and her conscious is literally eating her alive.
I'm sure she blames herself for
oh my God, for all of it. It's just so torturing what with these tormented souls that are on the inside of her.
Yeah.
That she's
And
manifested.
ultimately, they're a part of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a tortured soul, and she's manifested
But
them.
some of the stuff Sam said to her.
I mean, it's
like
twisted.
if you lay under him after he came in, a lot of stuff she did was for her kids.
Right.
At least that's what she told herself.
Right.
I mean, maybe it was for power. Maybe it was for feeling like I'm in control of something, because she's not really in control of her life. So I think a lot of it was both, you know, for her kids and for the power and stuff. But some of the stuff that Sam said, that cut too deep within her. I think that's what made her lose it. In that scene where she goes to the house and she's having to sing, and she starts off beautifully.
Oh my
and you know,
God.
she's a Broadway singer. She came from Broadway. So I was
Yes.
like, oh, this is going to be nice. We finally get to see Ernestine's, you know, we've heard her sing in the past, but it was a little bit, but this is more like, oh, and she starts off so beautifully, and then it gets really crazy.
Yeah.
And
Super
then
twisted.
when she started knocking stuff down, I was like, are they going to slap her?
It was so crazy. That's when I put two and two together that this must not be the master, because I was like, he would have whooped her by now. Like, she wouldn't have gotten that far in the song. But I thought it was interesting too, right before that, how they were trying to get Hicks so drunk. Like, I was like, why does he keep liquoring him up like this? Like, what are they trying to do?
I thought it was going to go somewhere like raunchy, like he's going to like try to sleep with him or something. No, wrong. No, they were doing that in that era. Don't act like they wouldn't. That was happening. So I thought that's where it was going, because the way he was looking, it was suggestive. He was like, here, have another drink with me. And then he comes up again. He's like, are you going to drink with me? He says it really sweetly. And that was the same guy who was telling Matthew, I don't care about niggers. He was saying that and stuff. So it was like, why is he being so sweet to him?
Right.
And I found it interesting, Matthew's character, he didn't want to really be there.
No.
He talked about going to New York, and I want to be
Bondage.
away from this. Yeah.
And I thought it was so interesting how he spoke about how slavery not only just affected the slaves, but how it affected the slave owners. And that story was so interesting about his aunt. It was like, you know, she didn't feel comfortable. And then all of a sudden, she became the condition of her environment and started treating people the way.
And I think that happened with a lot of people. You convince yourself, I'm above this. I would never be so inhumane.
Right.
And then you start getting comfortable. And I liked how he talked about that.
Right.
It was a slow progression. Everything's a slow progression.
Yeah.
And it seeps up on you. It's a crazy thing. But I want to talk about some of the smaller characters that we encountered in this episode, like Clara.
Yeah.
So we see Clara's family is surrounding her dad, and they're drilling her about what happened to her baby.
Yeah.
And from the last episode, we saw that, you know, Hicks made her take the poison, and it got rid of her baby. And that was such a strong episode because it had the family unity.
Right.
It was a lot of family unity, and I love going back of that, like. And her dad was such a strong. I actually know the dad. I did on Broadway with him.
Oh, nice.
We did Dreamgirls together.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I was like, his accent is so good. It was making me laugh. I was like, we did Dreamgirls. Look at him. He killing this part.
Nice.
It was such a strong character too, and how he was talking to Ernestine about her pain and stuff.
Yeah.
She wears her pain like a badge of honor.
Seriously.
It's serious.
But did you catch the subtle, like, what I thought I caught was them being suggestive that she's lost a baby before, that a baby's been taken from her before. That's kind of what I heard in terms of, like, did the master take it? You know, like,
because she had a baby with the master.
I guess they kept
before?
asking her. Well, it's very hard to understand them. You know, they're
it was.
Gullah
It
Geechee.
is. And so it's like
They're Gullah Geechee
I'm
is
leaning
thick.
like, what is this? Yeah, it is.
So shout outs to the folks that are in the chat with us. If you guys caught it, let me know. Talk to us about it. But yeah, it was just so much. Like, I was like, oh my God, all these women have been through this a time before, because even during Ernestine's flashback with her husband, he's like, I won't let them take this one. And I'm like, so wait, did Ernestine have a baby before Sam? Like, there's just so many questions.
So many questions.
So many questions.
So wait, they were saying that maybe she had a baby taken away from her beforehand?
Yeah. Because he was like, I won't let them take this one. And I was like,
I was wondering why she was covering up for Hicks, though. Like, he brutally forced her to have an abortion, and she refused to tell her dad. Like, it was like, why is she taking up for this man who who did that. And even Ernestine's there just quiet, watching it, saying anything. It made me ponder, like, why don't she just tell him what he did? But I guess they don't want I guess she doesn't want any more issues or anything else to go
She got
down.
enough drama going on.
Man, that's a lot. So yeah, so we see Clara's character and another little character, Angela Bassett. I just saw someone talk about it in the
people. The queen.
Did anybody catch her character's name?
The queen has made an appearance and has made an arrival. Let me tell you something. I snuck my way into the underground after party.
How did you do that? Wait a minute. Don't just go fast.
Yeah, we just go past that. Anyway, I was at the screening.
My sister was gonna go.
I was at the event screening and I snuck my way into the after party. And when Angela Bassett just strolled into the after party, cheekbones intact, I was like, oh, Angela Bassett's here. And I'm just thinking, she's there to support. And I was like, this is so dope. I didn't even know Angela Bassett watched this show. So, yeah, who does she know? But clearly,
she's in it.
They've kept it under wraps.
Yeah, they were. You see,
you guys are good.
Misha just posted a picture about it, and it was like, okay, she waited right until the episode was over. She's like, I've been wanting to post this.
Sneaky underground.
You are so good. That was such a surprise because when I first saw it, because they film it so dark,
right?
So I thought it was Ernestine, and she was flashing back to another flash. And I was like, what? Ernestine look different. And then I was, she looked like Angela Bassett.
Because she is Angela Bassett.
I asked you that. But did anybody catch the name of her character? Like,
I did not. I'm like, who is this woman? Obviously, we want to believe she's kin to Ernestine.
Maybe she's like Ernestine, who Ernestine's character is now. Like, you see how people come to Ernestine for herbs and stuff. Maybe she was that back in that past.
See, the chat is already they're with it.
Do y'all know
Angela Bassett was a conjurer woman.
A conjure woman was a sage woman on the
plantation.
Okay. So she was kind of
one of the healing women. Yeah.
Ernestine was. Interesting. So seeing, when I saw that character, I was like, wow, okay. We're hoping to see more of her.
Right.
In this episode. Probably so, but we're hoping to see more. It'd be funny if that's all we see. And that's it.
Right.
That's all of Angela. But going back, it goes back to Ernestine talking to Rosalee as a child, telling her life is hard and stuff. And it just keeps going back and forth with those flashbacks. But that was really interesting. For some reason, that surprised me so much to see Angela Bassett's character. I was like, yeah, y'all could have gave us a warning. Next time, give us a warning, guys.
Ease us into it.
It's
No.
Angela
they
Bassett,
just said, boom,
guys.
here you go. Here you have
Come
it.
on. So then we'll also see just a little bit of Harriet Tubman in this.
But what I loved about it is it was a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's always a teaching moment.
Right.
When it's her and Rosalee. You notice that it's like she's grooming Rosalee to be the next, leader.
Because it happens right after the gruesome fight with Jack.
Wait, let's talk about that.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, what?
But she taught her how to fight like that. You remember it was going back and forth, and she had taught her, you make sure you, and Rosalee was giving it to Jack.
I mean, when Jack was about to kick her stomach, I almost lost it.
When she turned her back,
I was just like, she'll do anything to protect this child. And that's that motherhood instinct that just kicks in. And I was just like, it's either him or her.
Yes.
Like, it's what it really comes down to.
Me or my child or you. My mom was a police officer, and I remember my mom got into an altercation like that, 3 men against her. At night.
No.
And we were at home. My mom used to leave us at home by ourselves. And she was like, I'm going back to my children. That scene made me think of that. She was like,
wow, y'all
gonna have to kill me because I'm going to see my children.
Right.
And I just imagined my mom fighting like hell to get back to her kids and seeing Rosalee protect. I heard her back crack when he kicked her.
Yes, that was
I was
crazy.
like, that's a mothering instinct that just kicks in. When you want to protect your children and like do whatever you got to do, no matter what the cost. That was such a strong scene for me. I was crying again.
Your mom is like black girl magic.
Yeah,
oh my God.
My mama.
If your mom's in town, she has to come on the show.
Love you, mommy. I love you so much.
She's amazing.
But Harriet is so like that kind of mother figure
for
at this
her,
time.
Yeah.
Since Ernestine is not there and she's looking to, find her mom and stuff. But I feel like Harriet really stepped in to be that mentor and mother figure to teach her how to, be badass.
And brought out her strength. Because it's like the strength it takes to be pregnant, dehydrated, tired, just got shot, and still managed to stab a dude in his eye? Like, but it came from the axe and the trees, you know.
It made her stronger because swinging those axes, you know, because we forget that Rosalee, because we've seen Rosalee in this season. She's such a strong character, and even
she worked in the big house.
Even at the end of like the last season, but she was working in a big house. She didn't get those muscles like the other slaves. Like they strong and stuff. So this is new for her,
right?
But she's really, her character's really
come a long way. Yes,
circle. But yeah, we see briefly Harriet Tubman. She's explaining to Rosalee like how to be strong and like lead, and like what else was she saying? She was like explaining to her like, you know, this is the stuff that's going to get you out. This is the stuff that's going to help you when you get in those kind of situations.
Right.
And she found herself in that kind of situation, and she fought like heck.
Yep. And even Harriet telling her mother's story, because that's what I feel like this entire episode has been about, motherhood and mother-daughter relationships
and a trickle effect.
Yeah. And so Harriet tells her story about finally getting her mother out of bondage and what that meant, and was like, she was groaning the whole way, but I finally got her out, you know, because it's like her mom believed that if she just did good, she'd get out. And Rosalee was like, my brother thought the same way, because Sam, that's what Ernestine passed down to Sam. Just be a good Negro.
The term, what was it? Term slaves.
Yes.
They told him that they would be free at 45 in order to make them work harder.
Yeah.
It was this promise that, hey, this is dangling in front of you. It's like dangling candy, or
you get to retire.
You'll be Don't. That's
you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
It's
you know,
so,
like
it angers me. And then it was too late by the time they realized that it's not true.
Yeah.
It was too late. Her mom couldn't make the journey on foot, because that's a hard journey. When she was telling that story, that was so powerful, just to hear her talk about what her mother went through and the promises that were made. Term slaves. Such a you don't learn about these kind of stuff in school. Term slaves. When I heard that, I was like, dang, that's crazy. Yeah. So then we see the slave master. I want to go back to when Ernestine starts flirting with. I thought in that house scene that she was gonna try to get more power, like she did with Tom.
Right.
She was going to try to, you know,
flirt her way through.
And that's where I thought she was going with it. Because that's what we've seen out of Ernestine. She's cunning. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. So I didn't think she was going to flip out.
Well, you know, Angela Bassett's character planted that seed. That's what she said to her when she was a child.
She said, girl.
Your body has never been yours. It never will be. But you have a pretty face. Use that. And so, like you said, this episode gets us to see why she's where she is and how she's been able to use her cunning body and her charm to be able to have some power in this powerless time.
It's unfortunate because that's the only thing she has to leverage.
Right.
I mean, this is a woman who does seek that power and that strength. So it's unfortunate. But I want to go back into Patty. So we come across Patty again, and she's talking to Mr. Donahue about the book, and she asks him about what stories has he heard about her that made him want to write the book. And he talks about the baby over the fire. And I was interested to hear the story. And when he starts talking about it, how I'm like, to me, that doesn't say that you are ruthless or that you're strong. That just, to me, it says you're weak, that you would pick on a child.
Right.
You know, a child. She held a little boy's head over a fire until his parents would tell her where the slave she was after was. It said a lot about her character. And then she asked, do you think that story's true? Do you think it was true? I don't know. Because she doesn't say, she just smiles, like, and he's like, I don't know.
Right.
But it's one of those strange things. I love Mr. Donahue's character.
Oh my gosh.
He
has so many layers.
He does.
Because it's like you think he's there for this reason, but I'm starting to
feel
think
like
he's there for a different
reason.
reason. I'm like, bro, why are you really writing this book?
I felt that early on when they first introduced this character. Something, I don't know if it's just good acting, but something about the way he talked about writing the book and how he talks about
and he throws little jabs.
Rosalee and Harriet Tubman, the way he has so much admiration for them. And when he's talking to Patty about it, it's kind of like, I'll just give you a few compliments. Just to make you think that I'm really here for you, but not really.
But he throws jabs at her, and sometimes he asks questions that kind of makes it seem like he sides more with the black slaves.
He does side.
So I'm like,
what was the point of him taking that picture of Jack dead laying on the floor? I felt like he said he was taking it for a story, but I felt like he's gonna make Patty look like you can't even catch her, a pregnant girl. I don't think they know she's pregnant at this moment, but a girl.
They don't.
Your men are getting killed by a girl. Like, I felt like that was such a laughing, haha moment. Like, you're not really doing anything.
But when Mr. Donahue finally saw her, though, I don't know if he saw that she was pregnant, but he saw.
He didn't see?
But he saw. I mean, at this point, Rosalee is post leeches, bullet, and a snake. And a snake.
That snake.
What the?
Where did that snake? What? I was like, she's been through a lot.
She's been through hell and back. And so then when that man comes, you literally see the one tear because she just can't. She has no fight left in her. And when Mr. Donahue just took off his stuff and gave her water.
You thought he was reaching for a gun
Yes,
at first.
I did.
I knew something told me it was just for suspense. I was like, he ain't reaching for no gun. It was such
He gave her water. I was so...
a humane moment.
Yes.
I think that's when I just
That's
lost
when you cried. That's when Lina cried. She lost it.
Be quiet, okay? Not to tell everybody. No, I lost it because when I see acts of kindness, it makes me just cry because you've seen them go through so much, and no one of the other race have been kind to their fellow human beings. To me, it's just so far to see other human beings not able to be kind, show kindness to fellow humanity. To see that act of kindness from him, I lost it, and I just started. And then Rosalee sitting there, she was like, I'm done. Like, she dirty. She done fought her way through so much. She's like, dang, I'm done. Shoot, just do it. She was just like, just
take me. Like, I'm done.
That had me right there. That was quite a scene for me. Thank you for putting that in. It just shows like there were some people who definitely had humanity, even if they weren't on the side of the slaves. They had humanity, and like Matthew's character, his character. There are those people, and it's good to show that. It's good to show that there were some people, even though they didn't outright speak up for the slaves and stuff, that they still had humanity in them. And that was a lot. We didn't talk about the flashback when Ernestine was washing her dead husband's body. That was
he was beaten to death.
That was such a powerful scene.
And when Sam asks her, "Are you gonna do that for me too?"
It's like he knows it's fate. Like, that is the fate that is for me, Mom, and I need to know. Are you going to do that for me?
I couldn't deal.
A child.
That was so hard to watch. This whole episode was heartbreakingly beautiful.
That's a beautiful.
It's like
I wish we had done words at the beginning. That is a great.
That's how I can sum up this episode. Heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah.
There were just moments that were just I was so disgusted with this episode's sex scene. Because
it was brutal.
It was just like they were fighting. He was hitting her, and then her mouth is bloody, and he kisses her.
You were disgusted.
I was like, ew. I'm just so.
But that happens.
All of it. I can't do none of it.
And she was hitting first. She fought back this time though. She was going. But
she's like, do it.
The way he hit her, man. The way they hit. Can they not hit the women like they men? And they be hitting the women like they men in this. But she took that and got back up. But yeah, that scene was. Very brutal.
It was.
That's domestic violence.
But I think her stepping up in that way, like just do it, it like made him see a side of her that was like, whoa, something's wrong here. And he was just like, why are you making me do this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
But that's when domestic violence happens. That's why you're making me do this. You're making me hit you. You're making me so angry to the point. And I think it's good for people to see this because that's how it starts. It's verbal abuse, then physical abuse. And I think it needed to be seen like that. But it was disturbing. It was very disturbing to watch. Do you think that was the moment where Ernestine was like, I've had it, and which leads to her walking into the water? which was such a symbolic, like, this is a woman we've seen all these flashbacks of everything she's been through, walking into this water like, I'm done, with a rock, a boulder, walk into it just like, I'm done.
You know what's so crazy? As she was in the water, I kept hearing "Wade in the water."
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know, because you didn't think at first she was going to end her life.
No. So as she was walking into the water, I was thinking of the Negro hymns and the things that people sang during that time. But when she tried to kill herself, I was just like...
When I love how they go back and forth with Rosalee fighting for life and bringing in, she's fighting for life, and Ernestine is done.
And then Hicks saves her. Obviously Ernestine couldn't die.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't gonna really happen. Let's keep it all the way real.
You was like, Ernestine ain't dead. This ain't happening.
She's not dying. So, but yeah, he didn't save her by himself. It takes a village, is what that showed.
I think, and he couldn't swim, I think, too. I think that was another thing that it showed. He had to be tied with the rope and pulled back in, and it did take everyone pulling him back in. She was so mad when she came to, like, y'all done saved me. I wanted to be done with this.
Right.
I wanted to be done. Wow. That was a powerful episode. And
powerful.
To close it off, who comes back?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Mr. August himself.
Oh my God. Next week is going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Patty goes to find someone who hates the seven more than anyone.
Right.
Whoever could. And August is back. We thought we were done with him, but
August
no.
is back.
I love his character. I was always on the fence in season 1 because I loved how his character, you didn't know if he was good or bad, but he was struggling a lot with like what the right thing to do, save his family and himself, or do what was right. And I think a lot of that, I love characters that do that. I'm obsessed with that duality in characters. So this was quite
this episode
an episode.
was amazing. Yeah. And before we go, I just, one of the things we always talk about is like all the little fun facts that happen, and folks in the chat already talked about it, and we talked about it at the top, but that Journey was 7 months pregnant and did all her own stunts in this episode. And what folks may not know is that the character Rosalee, Misha Green, who's the creator of the show, created this show and wrote the name of that character because it's named after her grandmother. That was her grandmother's name, Rosalee.
Oh, so pretty.
Yes.
They do that a lot, though. Writers love to incorporate because it comes from like what's inside of you, so I love that.
Yes. And of course, I can't leave the show without giving you guys the music list of tonight's episode. We had Alice Smith's Back to Black, Mars Leon's Touch, and Ibeyi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, with Oya. It's already on my playlist.
You downloaded it.
I have my underground playlist on lock. The music is just so powerful. And guys, every episode I'll make sure to bring you guys some fun facts and a music list.
Yes, and make sure you hashtag Underground WGN and ABTV. Underground, hashtag us. We want to tweet you and get your comments. And we might have a little surprise for y'all on the next episode. So definitely tune in.
Yeah.
You can find me at Justlina Green on all social medias. And this lovely lady.
Oh my gosh, you guys hang out with me at all things at Selly Hangout.
Predictions.
Oh, predictions. Yes.
Oh my God.
Let's do predictions before we get out of here.
And now,
what am I predicting?
your AfterBuzz TV.
What we saw was
predictions.
Oh, you can still predict.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we think's gonna happen?
Okay. You want to go first?
Well, the young gentleman in the stallion, while Carla was being confronted by her family, he came in the horse and they had this look and this interchange. So I predict that in the next episode, we're going to see what that relationship really is. I'm thinking that she has been pregnant before, maybe had a secret relationship with one of the white men in the house, which is because one of the folks in the chat said it, that last episode, Carla said, Clara said, maybe I can get into the big house if I keep the baby. Oh. So it's like, did she have something going on? I was like, there's something going on there. So I predict that we're going to learn a lot more about her and that history. I'm also, Kato. We're finally going to, Kato's going to really make this man fight for his life. I just know it.
Noah?
I really think so.
You know what? I think they do a lot of, I guess this is my prediction. They do a lot of like doing Kato's character like he's gonna do something bad, but I feel like he always goes against the grain and does something good.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna help again.
Yeah.
He's gonna use his resources and like try to help Rosalee get back to Noah. And I feel like he's gonna be the good guy in the end. I don't know. I just always feel like that he always goes against what you think he's gonna do. So yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Till next time.
Yeah. We'll see y'all later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.